Hello ladies and gentlemen, now in one of the previous episodes we did the quest called On the Scent, where we had to track down Ricky. Now if you know where he is, and if you don't waste your time looking for him, you're gonna get a special cinematic.
Jesus Christ, what am I to do? Not that I can expect any useful advice from you. At least, you have no more cares.
Need someone to talk to?
Fuck! Don't kill me. I can explain. I won't tell anyone. I swear, I've no one to tell anyway. Just please don't kill me.
I'm not planning to kill you.
You're not one of Runt's men?
No.
Huh. Then who are you?
I come here in the name of Sir Radzig Kabila and Sir Hanish of Lipa. I'm investigating the raid on the Neuhof stud farm.
Got no idea what you're on about.
Save your breath. If you want any chance to escape the gallows, you better come clean, alright?
Jesus Christ. This will never be over.
So?
Fine then.
That Neuhof raid of yours didn't turn out quite as planned, did it?
Depends on whose plan you're talking about. We were up to it to grab some loot and bugger off. Only Runt's cutthroats was there to shed blood.
What do you mean, Runt's cutthroats?
There were two gangs there. Mine and Runt's. We was only there to steal, but they wanted to slaughter everyone.
But when you realised what they had in mind, you didn't have to go along with it, did you?
But we didn't know nothing, even though we were going to Neuhof. They told us to keep watch on the courtyard while they were cutting the horses' throats. Jesus, that fucking vexed me. Their horses was the most valuable thing there. When I spoke up, though, Runt gave me such a bollocking I knew I'd better keep my mouth shut. And when they said we was going to kill anything that moved, then we knew there was no going back.
That gang of yours, what can you tell me about them?
Don't know what you want to know. There was four of us. Me, Timmy, Limpy Lubosh, and Pius Pavan. Sometimes we'd rob a place or hold up pilgrims. Never nothing fancy.
I'm sure you did mischief enough. Who led you?
Pius. He was the oldest, and he'd mostly find the jobs for us. Plan them and the like. He got us into that fucking mess in Neuhof, too.
What about the others?
Timmy's strong as an ox, with a brain to match. You got more sense out of a fence post. And Limpy, I've been with him the longest. He's my one and only friend, I suppose.
Who got your two gangs together? You must have made contact somehow, right?
Pius. He comes to us and says he's got this prime job. We're gonna rob a farm, he says. That was a big deal, because mostly we just did small stuff. Hold up on the road now and then, nothing fancy. When they told us how much we could make on it, well, we just couldn't refuse.
So Pius knew them?
I suppose, but I don't know where from. We even got paid up front. I should have known from the start it was too good to be true.
Where did the rest of your gang end up?
You saw Limpy, right?
Yes, but he's no use to me now. Tell me where I can find Pius or Timmy.
I don't know nothing about Pius. He vanished in the woods, and I haven't seen him since. Timmy, I reckon, went back to the mill where he works.
Which mill?
The windmill a bit north of Neuhof.
Did you know any of Runt's people?
Not a one. They didn't talk to us at all. None of their faces was familiar either. The only thing I know is they called that huge chief of theirs Runt, and Pius warned us to watch out for him.
I don't suppose you know where they got to after the raid?
On the way to Neuhof, Timmy told me he was at their camp with Pius. I reckon that's where they've gone now.
Did Timmy tell you where the camp is?
Somewhere in the woods. He didn't say nothing more. Thing is, Timmy's got quite an imagination. But Pius roared at him to shut it, so I reckon there must be something in it.
Tell me exactly how the raid went down.
Well, we stormed in from the rear. Runt's people started slaughtering the horses. Jesus, that was bleeding horrible. Meanwhile, me and Limpy had a sniff round the stables to see if we could find anything worth pilfering. And in the end, we got lucky.
What did you find?
Smill, Sir Hanish's groom. I don't know why he was up and what he was doing in the stables, but we took advantage of the situation. Limpy grabs him by the throat and I slapped him round to encourage him to tell us where the money was. Then it all fell apart at the seams. Quicker than you'd believe. Runt comes running up and skewers the groom like a pig for roasting. My jaw dropped. I thought the stuff about killing was just tough talk.
And it wasn't?
No, not in the least.
What happened then?
I'm gaping at Smill, stuck through and through, and I noticed this boy standing at the other end of the stables. The stupid sods pointing at us, jaw hanging down to his knees, saying, "I know you." Runt turns to us and hisses, "Take him down." So me and Lubosh start running, because the lad took to his heels. At the same time, we could hear the noise of the skirmish in the courtyard. We caught up with the boy at the next farmhouse. I knock him to the ground, but he bashes me with some piece of iron so hard my head's ringing like a fucking church bell. Limpy grabs it off him and stands over him with his bodkin in his hand, and I start praying. In the end, Limpy just gives him a kick and says, "Beat it, Ginger." And then Runt shows up at the gate and hollers that we gotta go, so we scarp it.
What happened after the raid?
We were waiting for that fool, Timmy. Same place as we met them before, so he'd know where we were, right? Stupid fucking idea. But Pius didn't want to leave him behind. Only when Timmy finally turned up, 2 of Runt's men were dragging him.
There was some difference of opinion?
You could say that, yeah. They started on us right away that we were traitors. They knew we'd let somebody get away, and now we were going to pay for it. They started trying to surround us, and we knew what was coming. But Limpy took his bodkin and let that fucker have it in the belly.
Runt?
One of the others. Timmy broke free from them, and we all took to our heels. Luckily, they were so buggered from the raid, they didn't follow us for long. They just shouted that they'd find us.
That's all I need to know. So now what do I do with you?
Well?
Hey, over here! It's up the hill. Shh. Chief, found the cave. Shut up, Billy.
Oh, shit. Runt's people. We've got to get out of here.
They're too close. We'll never outrun them.
Fuck!
At least they don't know I'm here. The 2 of us can take them by surprise.
No fucking way. I'm gone.
Look here. If you run, they'll catch up with you and kill you. And me too. Together, we stand a better chance.
Jesus Christ. All right. I suppose you're right.
What's going on there? Hey, who's there? Well, look, crawling out from under some rock. What about
I've got some more questions.
What?
Who is this runt? What does he look like? Do you know anything about him?
I never saw him before, but he's massive and scary as hell. Even his own men are afraid of him.
Did you notice what his sword looked like?
No, it was just a regular sword, I think. Why do you ask?
I think I once had the doubtful honour of meeting that bastard, and he has something that doesn't belong to him. You're coming with me. Sir Radzig and Sir Hanush will want to hear what you've got to say.
Don't suppose there's any chance you might turn a blind eye.
Why should I?
I didn't do nothing all that bad, and I told you everything I know. You can tell them yourself, and leave me here, and in a few weeks I'll pack up and clear off.
Nothing bad. How many people were screaming at Neuhof? Half the stables are burnt down.
I didn't kill no one, and I didn't start no fire neither.
But you had a hand in it, and you wanted to rob them. You could have warned them.
I'm no saint, but surely I don't deserve to hang for that. It was them others.
I don't give a tinker's curse. You were there, you didn't warn anyone, and you helped those murderers, even if it was only for a while. You're going to Rattay with me.
You're condemning me to death. You know that, don't you?
Maybe Sir Hanush will have mercy on you. You've had the devil's own luck so far. It might be best if you disappeared. You're no use to me anymore anyway.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll remember this till the day I die.
Best just try living honestly.
I'll do my best. I promise.
And that's it. Now we can continue with the monastery. One thing that you need to know about this book copying is that Latin letter F without a dash is actually S.
I couldn't have written it better myself.
Get away from that cabinet. The books still in there aren't for your eyes to see.
what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay,
Praise be to Christ.
grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips, but simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command,
In a rush to pray?
Just before they raised Skalitz. And now they hurt again. But worse than last time. I tell you, something is going to happen out there.
You might be wrong. And besides...
I'm Gregor, a novice. I saw you at the ceremony.
I know. It was hard not to notice you.
And you are?
Lucas, also a novice. Don't get upset, but I don't want to talk to you. I'm happiest alone.
I'd like to know something about the other novices.
I don't know much, but ask away.
What can you tell me about Siskin?
Not a lot. I don't know him. Actually, I don't know much about him at all. Except that he's not a stickler for rules.
You really don't know anything about anyone? Well, thanks anyway.
Don't get upset. I'm sorry I can't tell you more. I just haven't felt like getting to know anyone yet.
I'd like to know something about the...
I don't...
Do you know anything about Yodok?
I don't. He doesn't like me, and he's on very friendly terms with the Circators. That's about it.
Tell me about Antonius.
I'd like to, but there's nothing to tell. I've never spoken to him. I've never asked about him.
In the night, I overheard the Circators in the cellar. They were talking about you.
Oh, no. So it's still not over. This isn't a life in service of God. This is purgatory.
Lucas, what's going on?
What do you think? Just like you, I saw the Circators drinking and playing hazard as if they were in a brothel.
You should have joined them.
I'm telling you.
Join them in their
someone's been
sinful
creeping
pursuits.
around in the corridor at night.
Yes, perhaps I should have.
It was
But I
stomping
refused
about
to
like
do
a
it.
I warned them if they didn't stop. I'd go and tell the prior. But instead of mending their ways, they vented their anger on me.
You've picked the wrong people to make enemies of, Lucas, they told me. Now I can't even count how many days and nights I've spent locked up in solitary confinement for the tiniest offenses, or for no offense at all.
Is there something I can do to help?
Would you? I think all it might take is for you to go and sit down with them. Have a talk, set things straight. Then they'd leave me alone. But I'm afraid even this path leads nowhere. They'd probably start hounding you as well.
I'm not afraid of them.
Brother, you have the courage I lack. May the grace of God be upon you.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
There's nothing I can tell you.
I mean, where you're from, what sort of life you had before, that sort of thing.
I'm a novice, and my monastic name is Lucas. Nothing else matters.
Come on. Is there really nothing at all you can tell me?
I could, but I don't want to. I'm sorry. I want to stay focused on work and prayer, not on who I once was. I never will be again. What has been isn't important for us. We cast the past aside when we walked through the monastery gates and took our oath.
That must have been Brother
Never
Circate.
forget that.
He can't sleep and prays long into the night.
If you could, who would you vote for to be the abbot?
But I can't vote, so what's the point of worry? Ask Antonius. He often talks about it, and I'm sure he has an opinion.
I've heard that you, well, that you enjoy the company of men. Is there any truth to it?
What? How do you know that?
I read it in the abbot's book.
What? The abbot's book is locked up in his chambers, and he'd never allow anyone to read it. Did you break in? But why? Just so you could dig something up on me?
I was looking for something else, but I just happened to come across your story.
No matter what you were looking for, you crossed a line that shouldn't be crossed. But don't worry, I won't tell on you if you promise me the same. Yes, you can call me a sodomite, a sinner, a monster, the spawn of Satan. But tell me this, Gregor. Can I help the way I am? I tell you, it's a test of my faith. A test so daunting you can't even imagine it.
Someone really reeked at Matins.
You're right.
You're right.
It stunk like a
I found it interesting, but I'm not judging
It's not
you.
the first time.
You are the way you are.
It's a mystery.
You should be true to yourself.
That will be
I'm glad you aren't like the others.
It's a wonder the proud
Thank you for not passing judgment. I swear to God, I've never lain with another man. I've never sinned. When my father wanted me to find a wife and start a family, I told him the truth, and he had me sent here. And in a way, I was glad. My guilt had been consuming me, and I knew in the monastery I'd find peace. The Lord sees my soul, and he knows it's pure. What's your step, brother?
What is it, brother?
I'm interested in the other novices. I'm interested in Lucas.
Nobody knows much about Lucas. He keeps himself to himself. If you ask me, he's got something to hide. I'd keep well clear of him if I was you.
Do you have any grounds for suspecting him of something?
Quite a lot. And also none at all. The circuitous who make the rounds despise him, and they'd never punish anyone without cause.
What can you tell me about Siskin?
Oh, he's always got a smile on the new friend. But I reckon he don't belong in the monastery. He spends more time dreaming of the world outside than tending to his duties. I'm surprised he hasn't been thrown out already. If it was up to me, he'd be out on his ear right away.
Sounds like you don't have much time for him.
No, I don't. He isn't a proper monk, and he doesn't belong here.
Today's food? What do they do in that kitchen? I bet they keep the tastiest morsels for themselves.
I've read the abbot's book. It says in there that you're not as saintly as you make out. Actually, it seems like you're as lecherous as a boar in rut.
You broke into the abbot's quarters to spy on me? You won't get away with it.
I wasn't interested in your opinion about what I did. What interests me is you and what the book has to say about you.
I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm going to report you.
What have they done to you this time, brother?
They're shirking their responsibilities, leaving us, their superiors, to chase around after them, finishing what
Just
they
try
don't.
it, and I'll
Did you
smack
have
you
to
so
finish
hard your
someone's
feet
reading
won't
in the
touch the
garden
ground.
again?
Yet again.
No, don't hit me.
I've had enough.
I won't say anything to anyone, I promise.
I was talking last night with the brother Cicators. It seems you're to fetch them a cask of wine. Like last time.
Well... Yes. It's true.
I'd like to help you.
Would you really do it? To get hold of the wine, we'll have to leave the monastery for a bit. I know it's forbidden, but we've no other option. If wine started going missing here, someone would notice. But to leave the monastery, we need the keys. And only the prior has those.
Wait a moment. Are you saying I'm supposed to steal the prior's keys so I can go and steal wine somewhere else?
You see why I don't want to do it myself now, do you? I don't have what it takes. I can't get those keys, but you could. Or you might be able to pick the locks.
But you've done it once before, haven't you?
Last time the prior was sick, and he left the monastery keys in the circator's care. So they unlocked the gates for me. This time we'll have to steal the keys.
How can I get hold of the keys, do you think?
I don't know, but it might be possible to do this without them. Brother Celarius, the cellar keeper, used to be a burglar. He knows his way around locks, and maybe could help us, if you could find a way to arrange it.
Do you think he'll want to take part in theft?
No, but he could give some advice, or maybe get some lockpicks to open the gate. You'll figure something out.
If you think so, I can try.
Once you have the key or some lockpicks, come and see me and we'll make our plan.
Pay more attention, brother.
Oh, nice. The game got saved.
What have they done to you this time, brother?
They're shirking their responsibilities, leaving us, their superiors, to chase around after them, finishing what they don't.
Did you have to finish someone's weeding in the garden?
I remember when we ate like kings.
And the wine? Those were the days.
You'll see. Things will get better.
And he'd soon get his man. What troubles you?
Will you tell me something about yourself?
Look, nothing against you, but I prefer not.
Right.
Thank you.
I'm still curious about...
It's no big, terrible secret. Thank you.
I'd be interested to hear what you think about the other novices. What can you tell me about Lucas?
It's a tricky situation with Lucas. No one really knows anything about him. I've tried so many times to talk to him, but he always backs away like a virgin on a wedding night.
That's all.
Ah, Gregor, talk to me.
In the night, I saw the brother cicadas drinking and playing dice.
And why aren't you spending your nights sleeping instead of creeping around spying on your brothers?
I only wanted to...
I know, brother, I know. But you need to understand that novices shouldn't be poking their noses into the affairs of elder brothers.
Touching, is it? Touching? More like infuriating. A horrible, abominable...
Even if something inappropriate was going on?
Even then, I'm afraid. Who are you compared with them? Wait till you know what's what, and in the meantime keep your head down and do what you're told. Life in a monastery is much like life outside in many ways. The monastery walls don't keep out human pride and hatred.
Really? I thought monks were above that sort of human folly.
They became monks, Gregor, but that didn't stop them being men. Be on your guard as much as you ever were outside. Lies, jealousy, vengeance. They can hurt you here as much as anywhere.
Thanks for the advice, although I don't know if I can follow it.
That's up to you, brother.
Ah, Gregor, talk to...
About those keys.
Did you get them? Keys? Or at least lockpicks?
Yes, I have them.
In that case, come before midnight to the cloister garden. I'll be waiting for you there, and we'll head off.
What do you desire, Brother Gregor?
I found a dagger in your stash.
And why shouldn't you have? I did hide it there after all. Do you often go through other people's belongings?
Well then, I have a question for you. I think you know what it is. What does a monk need a dagger for?
That dagger's the only thing I have left of my father. It was in our old shop, under the counter. Father kept it there to protect himself from thieves. When I was little, I admired that dagger so much. I asked Father if he'd give it to me when I was older. He always said yes, but only after he was dead.
Go on, please.
Now Father's dead and I'm here. That piece of steel is the only thing I have left from the outside world. I know it's not suitable for a monk, but I can't part with it. Now you can give it back to me. Thou shalt not steal.
Here it is.
Thank you. It means a lot to me.
Here's your dagger.
Thank you, brother. You don't know what this means to me. It's the only thing I have to remember him by.
I'd be interested to hear what you think about the other novices. What can you tell me about Siskin?
That there's no man alive less suitable for the monastic life than him.
You don't know young Lord Capon.
I've heard things. Siskin must have been like him. Fighting, drinking, fornicating. But then he ended up in here.
Why is he in the monastery?
No one knows. Maybe he's hiding from something. Or maybe he's being punished.
Do you think he has a secret?
Don't we all? But unlike the others, he absolutely refuses to speak about his life before the monastery.
That's all I wanted to know about him. Thanks. What about Yodok?
Be on good terms with him. If you show even the slightest hint you don't like him, he'll make your life hell. He's a slimy little pedant who'll rat you out to the superiors. Once he finishes his novitiate, I imagine he'll want to climb his way up the ladder to at least Sir Cater. He's a man who enjoys ordering others around.
I'm interested in Lucas.
No one knows much about him. He doesn't talk to anyone. He works, eats, sleeps, then does it all again the next day. It's as if he wanted to get it all over with as soon as possible. By it, I mean his entire life.
That's all. Thanks.
No, clear off. Let me sleep.
Watch your step, brother.
I've read one of the manuscripts copied by one of the novices. I think I'm going to cry.
It's that touching, is it?
Touching? More like infuriating. A horrible, abominable waste of parchment. Young people have no respect for writing these days.
But they'll learn. We were no different. Salve Domini.
What have they done to you this time, brother?
They're shucking their responsibilities.
I'm Gregor and I'm new here.
I know. I saw you in the church during the ceremony. I have a feeling we'll be meeting again soon, and often. You see, I'm a cicator.
What does that mean?
I make sure everyone observes the rule, does their work, and that everything is the way it should be.
When it's not the way it should be?
Then we're authorized to mete out punishment. But certainly you won't require correction, will you, brother?
Okay, so before we do anything else, let's go to the cabinet with forbidden books.
Get away from that cabinet. The book stood in there out for your eyes to see.
Now the book that we need for this quest is located in this cabinet, but we stole it before we came here at this spot, so now it's actually located in a chest. And that chest is there. So, should I risk going out? Or should I wait?
Then it should get his man.
What's the matter, laddie? Need to shit.
And there's the book.
Ah! This looks like the Saracen language. Ibn al-Hassan. That's who I'm looking for. Avicenna.
I'm also gonna get other quest items later.
Salve Domine. Peace be with you. Salve Domine.
Gregor, talk to...
Brother Cicator, my friend.
What would you like? To be relieved from duties?
No, I'm here because of novice Lucas. I've heard there's some discord with him.
Only because that weasel wants to put an end to our nighttime fun. So we're letting him know who's in charge here.
I'd appreciate it if you treat him like a brother again.
If he isn't afraid of us, There's nothing to stop him ratting us out. But what do you care, anyway? Grown fond of him, have you?
It's a wonder the prior doesn't check everyone's breath in the morning.
He hates you because you trample all over him and he has nothing to lose. If you show him just a bit of kindness, he'll think again about taking you on. You'll see.
Fine. You've convinced me. You can tell him things have been straightened out. But he'd better be on his best behavior from now on. Beware of Lucas. He might corrupt you.
What do you mean?
He's a sodomite, a sinner. He might try to get you into the habit, or out of it.
I didn't know that. Thanks for the warning.
In a rush to pray.
Oh no.
Brother, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working somewhere? Idle hands are the devil's workshop.
I had other affairs that needed to be attended to immediately. It will never happen again.
Really? Fine then. This time I will forgive you, but next time you'll be punished just like everyone else.
Okay, now I'm looking for Circator John so that I can sell out Brother Nevlas, because I wanna see what's gonna happen.
Slow down, brother.
That must have been Brother Cicada. He can't sleep and prays long.
Can't sleep and prays long into the night.
Pay more attention. The Watcher's stepbrother.
In a wish to pray?
Servus. What troubles you?
Nevlis wanted me to steal a forbidden book from the library.
Really? Oh, this must be a dream. Actually, this would never have occurred to me, even in my wildest dreams. Which book? What did he want it for?
What was that writer called? Avicenna. A pagan and a Mohammedan. He wanted to use it to help heal Abbot Peter.
What? That dirty louse thinks he can steal magic books and use them to curse good Christians? Well, he shan't, as long as my name's John.
I don't think it's really like that. It was a medicinal book, and Nevlis had good intentions.
Brother, if the book is forbidden, there is a good reason for it. Forbidden books are full of magic, blasphemy, and witchcraft. There's no excuse for reading them, let alone stealing them from where they've been safely hidden away. Nevlis has committed a grave offence, and he'll pay for it. But listen, brother, for the time being, keep it to yourself. Now, you've helped me greatly, but I'll save it for when Nevlis begins elbowing his way into the elections. The power of truth is greatest when its timing is right.
As you wish. I'm glad I could help.
I won't forget it.
Okay, now I'm gonna reload and not sell out Brother Nevlas. Because he seems like a really good
to
man.
our fresh young novices, our swift steeds, and our bound...
This looks like the Saracen language. Ibn al-Hassan. That's who I'm looking for. Avicenna.
Worse than last time.
What are you wearing, brother? You're in a monastery. What are you wearing, brother?
Is this some kind of bad joke? Put your habits on at once. This isn't the marketplace.
Oops. Okay, now let's wait for Yodok.
Talk to me, brother.
Here I am.
Just in time to manage it all. Once we're outside, we'll need to be careful and we'll need to be quick. If we're not back before sunrise, someone will realize we've gone, and there'll be hell to pay.
Where exactly are we going for the wine?
Next to the monastery is the house of the custodian, a baron who provides military protection to the monastery. We'll take the wine from him.
Why go to all that trouble? Aren't the monastery wine cellars full?
They are, but Brother Salarius keeps records of all the casks, and the prior checks them. They'd investigate if any went missing. Whereas, if someone outside loses the odd cask, they're not going to suspect us monks.
That does sound reasonable. How do we do that once we're there? Will we need to break into the custodian's cellar?
We needn't break in anywhere. It's on the ground floor and usually unlocked. It holds supplies for the whole craftsman's yard, and every now and again, someone comes in to fetch something. The only thing we have to make sure is that nobody sees us.
What particular wine are the cicadas after?
They want some Znojmo wine. But there's no way we'll be able to tell what's what. We'll just grab a cask and head off. I doubt the custodian would have anything of poor quality in his cellar.
The brothers will complain.
They'll complain even more if they've nothing to drink at all.
I'm ready. We can head off.
All right. You have the outside keys, so get unlocking. Service. What do you desire, Brother Gregor?
What?
Wonderful. Now you have to be quick. Go, and don't let anyone see you or there'll be trouble.
Wait, what do you mean I have to be quick? Aren't we going together?
You know, it's better if I stay here. One fellow attracts half the attention of two. Just go.
This isn't what we agreed. Either we both go or no one goes.
Oh, come on, Gregor. Don't be like that. The circators are waiting for their wine. You don't want to let them down.
Like I said, I'm not going alone.
To hell with you, Gregor. You know we're going to get into trouble for this.
How are you, Henry?
So as long as we don't have monk stuff, we're fine to go. Nice, the game got saved once again. Nice, belladonnas. Thank you. Well, I could take the nettle as well. Amazing. Now I can craft some savior schnapps as well. Okay, he's waiting for me.
What are you doing, creeping around like a foot?
Man, I wish I had a torch. Are the belladonnas.
bandits creep around in the dark without a light. Where's your torch?
I don't have it, man. Okay, never mind. Let's go back. I can make lots of savior snaps anyway.
Why such haste? For all eternity.
I've read one of the manuscripts copied by one of the novices. I think I'm going to cry.
It's that touching, is it?
Touching? More like infuriating. A horrible, abominable waste of parchment. Young people have no respect for writing these days.
But they'll learn. We were no different.
Nice, we have 15 savior snaps.
Slow down, brother.
Praise be to Christ, brother.
My dear brothers, I'd like to ask a favour of you.
If it's wine you want, laddie, go and find your own.
It's about novice Lucas. I've spoken with him and learned a few things. I'd appreciate it if you'd stop treating him so cruelly.
Well, Brother Gregor. I never thought for a moment you were the sort of man who would associate with someone like Lucas. I'll have you know he's a sodomite, a depraved sinner, and an impudent little louse who wanted to break up our little after-dark get-togethers and rat us out to the prior. He needs to be kept in line.
He hates you because you trample all over him and he has nothing to lose. If you show him just a bit of kindness, he'll think again about taking you on. You'll see.
Fine, you've convinced me. You can tell him things have been straightened out, but he'd better be on his best behavior from now on. Beware of Lucas. He might corrupt you.
What do you mean?
He's a sodomite, a sinner. He might try to get you into the habit, or out of it.
I didn't know that. Thanks for the warning.
What's there left to drink to?
To our fresh young novices, our swift steeds, and our boundless cellars.
You and your novices, you old pervert. A toast to our future abbot.
I'll drink to that. So, to John, the future abbot, and a pox on Nevlis.
That killjoy? He'd love to have us all under his thumb. Fat chance.
Don't worry. Those youngsters will wise up once they hear all about him.
Will they believe it?
Even if just 2 or 3 of them do, it'll help us. So, to Abbot John.
To Abbot John.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna keep the wine until I
Peace be
talk
with
to
you,
Brother Celerius. So, see you back at some load spot. Now let's actually sleep till next day.
This is not a good time for questions, brother.
In a rush to pray? Pay more attention, brother.
Not necessarily with his lips, but simply in his heart. And yet his work will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is far from gaining a reward for such work as this. He will incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint sin. And in another place,
Praise be to our Lord
death
Jesus.
and life are in the power of the tongue, for speaking and teaching.
What would you like? Praise be to Christ, brother.
I've discovered something about the wrongs being committed here.
I see. Tell me more.
The older brothers are picking on novice Lucas, punishing him when he doesn't deserve it and humiliating him.
It seems that now even brothers can't avoid worldly evil. Thank you for the information, and if you can, stand up for him. The older brothers are also out to get me. Any action I take, they'll try to use against me.
The Circators go into the cellar at night to drink wine.
I thought so. John always reeks of it. And he wants to be abbot. Hypocrite. Perhaps if you told the prior, that would clip John's wings.
Brother Yodok has been stealing wine for the Circators so they can drink.
Yodok? Well, that little rat's shown his true colors. Do you know where he's stealing it from?
From the cellar of a low-ranking vassal outside the monastery walls.
Clever. A custodian would never suspect anyone in the monastery. And no one here would suspect monks were drinking secretly when no wine's missing. Thank you, brother. Could you please inform the prior? If I were to do it, they'd cry false accusations.
Brother Siskin is hiding treasure he owned before he became a monk.
It doesn't surprise me. It's not the first time that's happened, and it won't be the last. I wouldn't punish him, but you can talk to him about it. Perhaps God will guide him, and he'll gladly give up his mammon.
That's all I know.
If you find out anything else, come to me. I'd be interested to hear it.
Interesting. So this is kinda nothing special. So I'm just gonna reload.
Here's the book you wanted.
Amazing. This really is it. Now I can use it to prepare a cure for our suffering abbot. Then I'll leave it in the library to make it seem as if Brother Librarian left it lying about. There'll be no investigation. It would be against his best interests, as he'll look like the one who wasn't taking proper care of the books. It will drive him mad. I didn't leave that book out, or did I? Is there anything I can do for you in return?
What the hell, man? I did get the key.
I'd be interested in finding out the background of the other novices.
That's a strange wish you have. And the only ones who know everything about the novices are the abbot and the prior. They keep a record of every monk in the abbot's book, but you'll never get your hands on it. It's locked up in the prior's study.
Thanks. You've helped me immensely.
No, thank you. About that book, don't even think about breaking in to get it.
Okay, now let's reload once again.
How can a novice get out of the monastery?
And what would you do out there? I'm sorry I can't help you. Now, if there's anything more reasonable I can help you with...
Oh, just forget about it. I'm interested in...
You're not alone. Everyone's...
Why? What's wrong?
Many brothers think more about this.
That's...
Peace be... What do you desire?
Is there any...
What would you like to do?
Not exactly.
John isn't my opponent. He's my... But there is some...
That doesn't sound like some...
Pity?
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. You'll find ingredients in the chests next to it. Concoct 2 buck's blood potions. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby. Don't forget to let me know when you're done so I can check them. What is it, brother?
I've finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Spectacular, Gregor. You've found your talent. Soon enough, you'll be teaching the other novices.
Okay, so there's the key for forbidden books, and my objective for that failed. Amazing.
Inside. Forbidden books, written by the devil himself.
What troubles you?
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you.
What the hell are these letters?
My boy, what have you done? This is a disaster.
Man, your books are a disaster.
Until about the 6th, let them apply themselves to reading. After the 6th hour, having left the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence, or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself.
Praise be to Christ, brother.
I'm looking for something a little, unorthodox.
And what would that be exactly?
I need to get some wine.
You're not the only one. But I have to keep records of all the casks, and the prior checks on them. He'd notice any loss straight away. Just like our food, everything's rationed. So I'm sorry, but I'll have to disappoint you, brother.
I need to get hold of some kind of weapon.
Well, I can't help you with that. And besides, what use would a weapon be in here?
I'm looking for lockpicks.
Lockpicks? And what would you like those for?
I'd like to practice opening locks, just for the fun of it.
Well, why not? So you heard I used to be a burglar, did you? I put it all behind me as soon as I took the vows. But I do have a few lockpicks left. I'll trade them for food. Get me a bite to eat, and you can have your lockpicks. Can't say fairer than that, can I?
I spoke to the cicadas about how they've been treating you.
Really? Did you manage to convince them to leave me alone?
But you have to promise not to tell anyone what you saw them doing. Then they'll leave you alone.
That's a promise I'd be glad to make. I'm forever in your debt, brother. Because now I know I can trust you, there's something I want to tell you. It's about Brother Antonius. I wouldn't like to say something that isn't true. God forbid I should cause harm by my words, but this is something I'm sure of. Novice Antonius is lying to us.
What makes you say that?
He claims he's a merchant's son from Vfxone, and that he joined the order voluntarily. The thing is, I spent a great deal of time in Vfxone. I know it like the back of my hand, and no one even remotely like Antonius has ever lived there.
Are you sure? Because this could mean that...
It's true, or Canute isn't my name. That would be my secular name, by the way, but that's not important. I know Vfxone, and I know the local merchants there, and I've never seen Antonius among them. Why would he be lying if he had nothing to hide?
Thank you for telling me. I'll look into it.
What is it, brother?
I've heard you're from Vfxone.
Yes, why do you ask? And more importantly, where did you hear it? Since I'm quite sure I've never told you. Honestly, the monks like to gossip more than old wives at the market.
I've read the abbot's book. It's got everything he knows about the novices.
Why? Why would you do that?
It was pure chance.
Pure chance? You had to break into his study to get it. Do you have any idea how they'll punish you for that?
That's beside the point now. There are gaps in your little story about Vfxone.
What's so implausible about it? I've always been more interested in books, so I left my brother the shop and came here to live a good life.
You see, I'm looking for someone in the monastery. Someone who's lied about who he is. And you fit that description perfectly.
But I told you, I've never lied to anyone.
That's funny. I think you're lying to me right now.
Do you think you're entitled to met out justice? Who gave you the right? I'm sorry, but I don't want to have anything more to do with you, Gregor. You're a lunatic, and the prior ought to be warned about you.
Please don't tell him anything. It would put my whole mission in jeopardy. And believe me, my cause is just.
Very well, I won't say a word. But you should think twice about what you have in mind.
In a rush to pray? Talk to me, brother.
I've heard you're from Vfxone.
Yes, why do you ask? And more importantly, where did you hear it? Since I'm quite sure I've never told you. Honestly, the monks like to gossip more than old wives at the market.
Because I've heard otherwise. You aren't from Vfxone. You made it all up.
And who told you that? Whoever it was, he's a liar. It's complete nonsense.
You'll see. Things will get better with the new abbot.
Okay, so now we have only this quest.
In a rush to pray?
What is it, brother?
Listen,
There's something I ought to tell you. There's a dangerous criminal hiding in the monastery, and I came here to look for him.
Ha! I knew it! He's a villain. Who are you, though? Oh, it's better not to ask, isn't it? It's always safer not to ask.
Never mind that. Who's a villain?
That's Siskin. I always thought he was an odd one, the way he carries on. But now it makes perfect sense. He's a criminal fleeing justice.
What are you talking about? You clearly know something I don't.
Siskin doesn't attend morning prayers. Look for yourself next time you're there. Instead of praising God, he's up to God knows what.
Thanks for letting me know, but that's not what I meant.
You think so? He definitely acts like a criminal. Who else would it be?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
What are you going to do to that fellow once you find him?
I don't know yet.
You should talk to the Circators or the Prior about it. Not act on your own.
Praise be to Christ, brother.
There's something I should tell you. Something you won't be happy to hear. I'm here to find someone and, well, to do away with him. But listen, it's not murder. Not when it's a man like him. He's one of the brigands who burned down Neuhof. He doesn't deserve to live.
What's he doing here? And who are you?
They call him Pious because he used to be a priest. When he found out a lot of people were after him, he hid away here. And as you can see, escaped suspicion. They sent me here to find him and bring him to justice. He's one of the novices.
So we have one outlaw and one assassin in our midst. This place is a lot more exciting than I expected. Do you know who it is?
Well, that's just it. It could be Antonius?
Antonius? He's a fine fellow. No, it can't be him. Although, you never know what's hiding beneath a man's skin.
See how hard it is? It could be anyone, and at the same time, nobody in particular. I suspect it could be Yodok.
Do you know, that occurred to me too. Yodok's a scoundrel and a cheat. I believe he'd be capable of anything.
I suspect Lucas.
He certainly says little enough, and he keeps himself to himself. I could well believe he's hiding something, but not that he's a killer.
It could be you.
What on earth makes you think that? My being unfit for holy orders doesn't make me a former assassin.
True enough. No, but I hope I'll track him down soon. If you find any clue that could lead me to him...
I swear I don't know anything. Except that I'm not the one you're looking for.
I won't tell you more, and I'd like you to keep silent about this too.
You're talking about killing in the monastery. I really should report it.
Would you do that? I have a feeling you wouldn't.
You're right. I'll keep it to myself. I've got problems enough of my own without involving myself in yours. And besides, I mean to be gone from here within a year, so why should I care what happens with the monastery?
Thank you, Siskin. I appreciate it. There's something I should tell you. Something secret. I'm looking for someone here in the monastery.
You're looking for someone? But you're a novice, aren't you?
I am a novice.
At least until I find the man I'm looking for.
Why would you be looking amongst monks? You know, the laws of man aren't valid here. In the cloister, we're subject to divine law, the law of the church.
I'm looking for a footpad who's hiding out here in the monastery. He had a hand in raising the Neuhoff farm. He's taken many lives.
I heard something about that. But why are you telling me all this?
Because you could help me. It has to be one of the other novices.
That can't be. Have you told the prior? What are you going to do to this man once you find him?
Finishing what they don't.
Did you have to finish someone's weeding in the garden again?
Yet again. I've had enough of it.
Talk to him. Then I'll see. Do you have any idea which of the novices could be the imposter I'm looking for?
I think I might know. I wouldn't like to say something that isn't true. God forbid I should cause harm by my words, but this is something I'm sure of. Novice Antonius is lying to us.
What makes you say that?
He claims he's a merchant's son from Vlashim, and that he joined the Order of...
Are you sure?
It's true!
Thank you for telling...
Why such haste?
Slow down, brother.
Watch your step, brother.
In a rush to pray?
Praise be to Christ, brother. What would you like?
Or maybe you're the one I'm looking for.
Me? A criminal? Look at me. How could I be? No, my friend, you're accusing the wrong man. If you want my advice, the oddest one around is Siskin. That fellow was never meant to be a monk. He's hiding something from us.
You're most likely right.
Oh, well, I should say so. Thinking I'm a criminal. Jesus, you gave me quite a fright.
Talk to me, brother.
I need to make a confession.
I'm no priest, but tell me what you've done. It's probably nothing to worry about.
I'm here in the monastery looking for a thief. He had a hand in burning down the Neuhoff stud.
You don't say. And who are you to take such an interest?
That's not important.
Why are you telling me this anyway? What do you want from me?
Perhaps you could help me find him?
The missing thief? If I knew anything, I'd tell you, but I suppose it must be one of the novices. I've only recently heard about the Neuhoff incident, and all the other brethren have been here much longer than that.
I know. Aside from me, there are only 4 novices, but still, I don't know which one he could be.
3? Please, leave me out of it. And you're right that it could be any one of them. No one knows anything about Lukas. Siskin might be a lot of things, but a monk isn't one of them. And Yodok is a slimy worm. It wouldn't surprise me if he was behind that massacre. Actually, the more I think about it, the less I like that Yodok. He's a treacherous rat who'd do anything to get in someone's good books. The thought of Yodok at Neuhoff sends chills up my spine.
I don't think it was him. But please, don't tell a soul what we've been talking about.
Don't fret, my friend. Your secrets are locked inside my lips.
You and your novices, you old pervert. A toast to our future abbot.
I'll drink to that. So, to John, the future abbot, and a pox on Nevis.
That killjoy? He'd love to have us all under his thumb. Fat chance.
Don't worry. Those youngsters will wise up once they hear all about him.
Will they believe it?
Even if just 2 or 3 of them do, it'll help us.
Abbot John.
Peace be with you, brother.
Gregor, talk to me.
Okay, I think I'm gonna reload to put the wine on this table, because maybe this quest got bugged. But we're gonna do that in the next episode, so if you liked this one, give it a like, dislike if you think it sucked, and see you next time. Thank you.